All right, guys. Seems like technical difficulties again. Not hearing an intro. So, for you guys who are listening out there, I don't know what's going on with that, man. I still haven't really gotten in touch with Blog Talk. So, we'll see what happens. But what's going on, man? Sim Standard Radio back for another show. We're here for episode 68. Y'all already know what it is, man. Madden impression. We're definitely going to talk about Madden, of course. But we'll get, back into the other topics as well. We got a special guest on tonight as well. So before, without further ado, let me go around and get and see how the guys are doing, and then we'll go ahead and get started. I think this is going to be a pretty full show. So let's go ahead and get it rocking, man. So, Smitty, checking with you first, man. How's everything going out there?
Everything's going good, man. I got some things, I want to say, especially in regards of Madden and how people are acting in regards to this community, in regards to the game and everything. So, when we start getting into it, I definitely want to touch on that. But yeah, this is the game that we wanted, and people are snitching themselves out like none other. So I'm really this is very exciting. I'm loving what's going on here, but we're gonna get into some things here. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely, man. AZ, man. What's going on out there in your neck of the woods?
What's up, man? Doing good, man. Enjoying this game. Football is back. Like Mitty said, people are exposing themselves. We said a long time ago, be careful what you ask for, and asking for a simulation game, and it's getting there. And now people don't know what to do with it. So, but we know what to do with it. So I'm glad to see. I've been, each year I gauge it by playing online. I'm pretty sure as the months go along, people will find stuff. But at this present moment, as of right now, people are being exposed. So, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, as I'm talking here in just this beginning segment, you may hear me sound a little different. Trying to get my mic situated. For some reason, my computer is not showing me which one I'm hooked to. So, I'll figure this out in just a moment. But yeah, man, definitely, it's definitely good to see what's happening with the game. As well as good to see what some of these people who, like you said, are pretty much exposing themselves, and that's what we always wanted. We always said that when certain complaints start coming out, we'll know the game is going in the right direction. But also, like Azure has said plenty of times, the more and more the game marches towards the direction we want, we're gonna find out who really is interested in simulation football. And not only that, we'll really find out, and I hate to say it this way, but we'll find out somewhat of the knowledge of some people in the football game community, just across the board. That could apply to anybody. So yeah, we're gonna get into it, guys. So let me go ahead and run these topics, and then we're gonna go ahead and bring out special guests in on the show. Of course, like I said, first topic will be Madden 16. Today's show will be all about Madden 16 in some way, shape, or fashion. We're gonna give impressions. We kind of went into it last week, but not really. But we'll kind of readvise or reinstate what we said last week. But we also will be looking for a lot of crowd participation, man. We want to hear from you guys, and we'll try to get to the calls a lot earlier. And definitely tailor your calls towards that. If you have other questions, that's cool. But we definitely want to hear what everyone is feeling about Madden 16. If you played it, so if you're planning to get it, if you don't have it, and things of that nature. But first and foremost, we're going to bring on Nef One. A lot of you guys may already know who he is. So a lot of you guys have played with some of his work, whether it was BackBreaker or All Pro Football or Add No 8, and just to name a few. He is one of the best rating guys in the business. And not being biased at all, I'm just keeping it real. He's probably my favorite. He knows that. These guys here know that. And it's just because of the way he does it. I know his process. I know his mindset. I know what he's thinking when he does the rosters. So I'm sorry, man. A lot of people will probably say, "Oh, you're just being biased," but you got to remember, there was a time when I didn't know him. So obviously something drew me to him, which was his work. But anyway, we had Dan on last week, so it's great to have someone else on this week to give their take on ratings. And I think what you guys are trying to find out is they have somewhat similar, I guess you would say thought process, but not necessarily the same in all areas, which is a good thing. And this is not going to be one of those Dan against Nef against, no, it's nothing like that. You heard Nef come on last week and he praised Dan for what he was doing because Dan had a lot of good information. But it's just, giving you guys a chance to see someone else who takes a different approach. Also, sharing some of the same.
Is he there? Sim.
Oh, Sim got checked out. So there must be some kind of technical difficulty going on. I don't know. Maybe it was possibly the connection, the method he was using in terms of speaking. So I don't know if he could get back on, but he should be back on momentarily, and then we could bring Nef in. So in the meantime, I guess we could go ahead. We'll touch on a little bit in regards of, I guess, since it's not really the elephant in the room, we can talk a little bit about I guess I'll just give my thoughts, at least initially, as far as that 2K trailer is concerned, because I know that was one of the things we're going to touch on. That trailer, in my opinion, it's just like we value all the other trailers that come out, like, especially from a 2K standpoint, there's nothing there that was really enticing from a gameplay standpoint. Even a little bit of gameplay they did show, it was nothing enticing because, of course, in the sizzle reel, you're going to show your game in the best possible light. Flaw-free, perfect movement, perfect motion, all that good stuff. So really, the long and short of it is that I need to see this game run in real time. And I mean, I need to see it run when this game is released, not during a live stream and that's it. Like, I need to see it out there, like when people have the game out there and people are Twitch streaming it and all that stuff. So then that way I can see firsthand how this game moves, flows, responds, etc., in a more real-time fashion versus seeing it. I mean, yeah, even though live streams, it'll be live, but I still need to see the game run, in its raw form and see how the game has truly refined itself from a gameplay aspect. Because we basically are seeing all the modes and all that stuff. Every single mode and every single little feature that you could do has basically been talked about and showcased and broadened and expanded upon at this point. Now we need to actually see the focus, which is the gameplay. So I don't like the fact they waited, that they're basically waiting until basically about a month or less before launch to talk about it. But, at least we'll find out before the game is out. So that's what I'm mainly looking forward to. So that sizzle reel really didn't mean anything. Even that little tattoo trailer, that doesn't really mean anything at all to me. I need to know what's going on with the general gameplay first and foremost before I could truly go forward. So, that's basically my thought on it. So, like, what's your thoughts on that, AZ?
Yeah, and I'm the same way. Of course, we three of the same kind when it comes to reading between the lines with these companies and how they do. We want to see raw gameplay, and we need to see it from live too. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna put live away from that. We want to see gameplay from live and 2K. The good thing about live is that live will be out to the public next week with the pro-am. So people will be able to get their hands on it in the demo, and that I know that stuff will be streamed and it'll be put up on YouTube. I guess if it's allowed. But 2K, I don't know. The arrogance of 2K always annoys me, and it happens each and every year because they sit here and they wait until the end. Because Ronnie 2K just put out a tweet that said, if this is not quoting verbatim, but he basically said, who would the community want to see go out to 2K to give them feedback on 2K16? So they, I don't know. It's too late to affect the game, 2K16. So why are you asking for feedback at this point in time?
Right.
You're going to sit up there and basically give people a look at the game for an hour and a half, 2 hours, fly them back out, and tell them to make YouTube videos to report on what they saw. But there's no actual community feedback, and then that feedback being implemented into the game. Because at this point, what's in the game is there. Game drops September 25th. So I don't like that from 2K. And it's been that way for a couple of years. They've been using YouTubers, and he said that Smooth couldn't come. And nothing against Smooth. I think when Smooth first started, he and Apex, me and Shakedown was talking about this. He and Apex were the only ones that would really talk about flaws. Like, we talking about 2006, 2007, or even before that, or whenever, people were making breakdown videos. So with him not being able to make it, then you rely on iPod King Carter, Shakedown, QJB, and maybe Dento. And not to say that those guys don't talk about flaws, because they do, but 2K gets in the mode of hyping the game, and they just use individuals, YouTubers. Now, you see the same thing from EA and Madden, because EA has events where people get to go down and get footage early and then put it out. But we're talking about the arrogance of 2K not having a real community day, to where people can give feedback, and then months can go by and we can see that feedback change in the game. And that's what EA has taken steps to do with their community program that 2K still has not. And I see that as arrogance. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, and sorry for my untimely departure. Yeah, but I'm back, guys, man. And just to say this real quick, we do everything live on air. Blog Talk is actually, plucking my nerves a little bit, man. I got an email from them today, an apology, saying that they've had these issues with their audio files and stuff like that, and my mic is not working tonight, so I got to dial in on the phone, as y'all can, probably hear the difference. And the funny thing is, I tried to dial in as a host, and it told me only one host can be on the show. So it still has me recognized as being connected through the computer with an online call, and wouldn't allow me to come in as a host. I tell you, boy. So I don't know. For you guys who are out there listening, that do podcasts and things like that, if you got some suggestions, we're open for growth. So, we were introduced to Blog Talk, but maybe this is not and I'm not trying to come down on our host, our home, so to speak, but I'm just saying there's been quite a few issues that I've noticed in the last month or so. Maybe there's a better service out there. But just to add on with the 2K information real quick before we bring Nef on, these guys covered it. I mean, Azure, took it to another level, talking about the community event. We've talked about that several times. I don't get. It's like Azure said. We know guys over at 2K, so I hate to make it sound like I'm coming down on them, and I hope they don't take it personal. But you have to throw that arrogance word in there a little bit. May not have nothing to do with the devs, but I just don't get not asking for actual feedback at a time that it matters. That's one thing that y'all have to give credit to EA. We in the house, man. We go down there as early as February. And actually, I don't think this is, breaking any rules by saying this. Those guys are actually looking at a way of possibly getting us involved a little early. That's what I'm talking about. Nobody stops to give EA credit for that. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry. People have been saying that you've had these problems for X amount of years. And even if you didn't talk about gameplay, let's just talk about online. Why not have some people in there outside of your own people testing this stuff out? But other than that, man, I'll make a real quick point about the trailer, then we'll get Nef in if we told him we'd bring him in early. My thing is, one of the main points I wanted to make, since these guys already took the obvious points, I'm glad they did that, because then I can, throw it to this point real quick. A lot of people always say, oh, that looks like last year. That was the main thing I kept hearing about Madden 16 when we were streaming it early and things like that. And not everybody, but you had people filling your stream, chat, oh, it looked just like last year. What game doesn't look like the prior year? What about 2K16? The gameplay doesn't look like 2K15. I want somebody to tell me that tonight, because maybe I missed it. Now, I will admit, I love details. As small as it might seem, the rolling around of the mouthpieces and all that, cute, so to speak. That was hot. But what about gameplay? What could you tell me? And I'm not blaming them for not showing the gameplay, because, of course, deep down I am. But you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm trying to take a different approach here. I want to know, what do people expect to see the very next year from a yearly product? I don't think you're going to see it like that. Now, you go back and look at, I took a look at one of my old videos. Now, granted, this was on a prior gen. But I looked at a Madden, what was it, Madden 12? Or it might even been Madden 25 for this gen. If you really look at it, it looks a little different. It really does look different. That's 2 years. But I looked at like Madden 12 and I was like, whoa, like completely different. I'm talking about in motion and everything. But you might not see that huge jump. You don't understand what I'm saying? You might not see it by year, but when you go back and look a couple years before, and you're like, okay. But that's the only point I wanted to make about that trailer, man, is I didn't hear anybody say anything about it looking like 2K15. But it seems like when EA, mainly Madden, does something that seems remotely right, then everyone, I just don't understand why so much jump down their throat all the time. I mean, we know the obvious reasons, licensing and all that, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying, man, as far as sports gamers out here, we're trying to look for the better game. Some of the things that you try to judge the game on before you even put your hand on it, you're missing me with all of that. But that's all I wanted to say about that, guys. So if you don't have anything else, we'll definitely go ahead and bring Nef One on, man. This should be a very exciting segment. And, guys, feel privileged about this, because Nef is one of those guys, man, that, he comes on the show. They don't like doing all this public stuff, man. You know what I mean? You don't like talking and all of that. He'll talk to us on the phone, but I can guarantee you ain't never going to see him do his own radio show. He ain't into all that. So the fact that he feels like compelled to come on the show tonight, says a whole lot. So, guys, y'all got anything else before we bring Nef in?
Yeah, I'll just say this, though, in regards to the whole 2K bit. Basically, before people really start jumping on 2K and pouncing on them about gameplay issues and shortcomings like how they do with EA, you'll see tumbleweeds rolling through New York City in the middle of rush hour before that happens. You know what I'm saying? Dudes ain't gonna talk smack about that game. They're gonna be all hush hush and be on the low about it, just like that whole 7-2 point guard demigod issue. Like, there was so much silence on that. It was ridiculous. And whenever people try to bring up some noise on that, all of a sudden dudes want to be like, well, what about Madden and its issues? Like, so this is what I'm saying. Like, people gonna be dead silent about it, and you got dudes gassing it up already, saying like the game changed when it looks no different. Like you said, you could look at the 2K14 trailer and look at 16, and it doesn't look different. So that's why, the proof's got to be literally in the raw gameplay pudding. That's plain and simple, at least for me. I mean, I'm pretty sure for all of us, but that's what they need to do. I need to see that.
Yeah, pretty much, man. I mean, and I guess we can talk a little bit about this if we get back to it. But all right, guys, special treat, man. We're gonna bring Nef One in, and before I get him on the line again, let me give a quick introduction. This is, in my eyes, one of the rating kings. He could be the ratings king, and this is no, slight to anybody else. It's just, I've worked with him for a long time, and like I said, I understand his process. His process alone makes a lot of sense to me. The work that I know that he puts into it makes a lot of sense, and then it translates in the game. Now, as well, Nef never proclaims that his ratings are going to change the game. I think a lot of times people get that idea in their mind when they play with sliders and rated rosters. Oh, it's going to change the game. No. Only thing that he's attempting to do, and I'm sure Dan and other guys like that would say the same thing, they're attempting to get the best out of the product and properly rate the players as they should be rated, so you can get a real difference between superstars and non-superstars. And it just so happened when you do certain things with the ratings, you get better gameplay. You might get a guy that's now showing his strength, showing his speed. Nef also, and I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'll let him go into some of the stuff. And I'm sure some of the things he's going to, keep to himself. But he does things like he, adjusts traits accordingly. He rates every player. There's no position globally rated. Not even your backup kicker if you had one. So again, some of you guys have seen my streams that I've tested his gameplay out, and it's basically the best way to sum up Nef's ratings and gameplay is it produces more consistency and more of what you would expect out of him. And that's his goal. So without further ado, guys, we're going to bring him on the show. We got Nef One, man, the rate king in the building. What's going on with you tonight, man?
Oh, what's up, man? What's up, Smitty and Zur?
Hey, what up, man?
What up, man? How's the families going, man? Everything good?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is good. So I don't know where to start, but I'll start with this. Really, thanks to you guys, because before, a while back on YouTube, I was just watching videos myself. I didn't even know anything about YouTube. And then when I started doing videos that I could rate games, all of a sudden, somehow we all connected. And people don't know that you guys have rosters of mine that I don't even have anymore. That you guys have video footage of my rosters that you tested for me that I don't even have anymore. I mean, it's like, wasn't for you three, people wouldn't really saw my roster because I'm not the type that's going to make a big channel, run out there and try to promote myself. I don't do that. So I like to put a big thanks to all three of you guys for even taking the time to give me that privilege to do that, first off. And, man, you already know.
You're welcome, man.
And second of all is the way, like Sim and you guys all three know, the way I rate, it's not really no more special or different than most people. The thing is, I've been doing it for so many years. So there's no game I can't rate and try to get what I can out of it. And rating the game doesn't mean like
we've all talked about, you can't just globally rate a team and change a few players and then play it, because it's like you're playing the same exact two teams, different jerseys, different names, and different numbers. That's it. And the one thing I've always done is individually rate every single player. Not one player in that roster is not rated by me. And that's the way I like to do it. It takes time, but it gets done. And to translate the ratings into numbers is not really easy, but you don't have to make it much harder than it could be. And that's where I think I have an advantage in some people is I played football as well as coached a little football, but I've been around football all my life. My dad was a coach. He used to have me keep stats on the players and what they're doing, what their mistakes are, how many passes they dropped. I mean, I was only like 9, 10 years old doing that. So after I started learning how to do those things and got into the video game era of playing video games, that's what made me not like the games, because I wanted to see the players play like they're supposed to. I already knew that something was wrong with these games. So Nef One was born way back before I even got on YouTube. I was never satisfied with any game's ratings, not one I could think of. So I started learning how to do it myself. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't fun. It takes a lot of patience. In fact, Smitty knows when I did it All Pro 2K8, I went through like 4 or 5 Xboxes. I would call him, hey, I just broke another one, because I wanted to get the ratings down so good that I would refuse to worry about how many times it would freeze, because in All Pro 2K8, you make one marker off in that code, it freezes. And if you don't remember where it's at, it's going to continue to freeze, and then it messes up the Xbox. So I went through a lot of those. I did some work with Azure. We were supposed to do a college. Do you remember that, Azure? We were supposed to do a college roster. I'm not sure if it was on BackBreaker or APS.
BackBreaker.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and
I remember that. I had a copy of that.
Oh, okay. Because a lot of the work, I'm not gonna brag and try to get out there and go on YouTube. I used to be on YouTube. You guys knew my channel. I have a good amount of subscribers, and I would make 40 videos a night just on ratings. A lot of people will not remember that or even think that's possible. But you guys seen it. You wake up the next morning, you see Nef One drop 40 videos. I mean, it was no joke. It wasn't just one day here, one day there. It was daily. They weren't long, they were short, but I used to drop a lot. And then that's when the problem started, was people were bugging me. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, because that's why I don't do the public thing so much anymore. Because I got tired of people just emailing and texting and messaging me, and it just got ridiculous after a while. But get on to the ratings aspect of the game. Like this Madden, I don't care what anybody said. This is the first game I actually was excited to rate. I was like a crackhead waiting for my drugs before this game came out. I mean, I was stirring in my house like a madman. Like, when am I getting this game? When am I getting this game? I want to rate it. So when I got the game and I started rating the game, it's just been sleepless nights lately. I mean, I've loved the way the ratings are responding. It's just really, they did a good job on it. And the traits, the way they got them now, and I know they're going to add more eventually. And you guys have tested the rosters, I guess, up to a point. I don't know. I don't think Azure has yet. But I see a difference, not a major difference, just a slight difference in some areas. But the players are playing more consistent. They're not just aimlessly sitting there. And a lot of the videos I see that people are making about, this player is just standing there in purgatory, or they're just flopping on each other. That's the game. I can't change that. I'm not even trying to. That's out of my reach. But if we only look for those things, then why are we even playing the game? What's the point? There's no reason every game does that. I don't see how that's going to really make the EA devs say, okay, we're going to just work on that next time, because that's all they're seeing. A lot of the things that Sim told me and you guys told me, the devs already know. So I'm not going to hit into that tonight at all. That doesn't make any sense, to go into something that's already been addressed or being addressed. So my thing is just to let you guys know how the ratings are affected. And Sim, you've been playing with it here and there. Smitty, I think you played a few times.
Yeah.
I asked you guys your feedback, and you gave me good feedback. And the thing about these three guys, y'all, is they're not going to play around with me just because they know me and say, oh, it's all good. If there's something that needs to be adjusted, they're going to tell me. That's how I've been working with them for years. I don't want them to – I even tell you that. Don't I tell you, give me brutal feedback. Don't give me no, it's okay feedback. Because when I sit and rate, I try to make combinations for the players, and every position has a combination in this game. Every position. There's not one position that doesn't have a combination to make it play as well as it can. Tackles and guards are on the line, but they're two different types of combinations for them. Every time I rate, numbers come out the way they come out. It's not like I have Dan's process of just going off data. You have to have stat input to know how the players separate. As when I'm doing the ratings, and Antonio Brown compared to a backup, fourth string wide receiver, there has to be separation. You can't have just his ability as far as his speed and acceleration, but what about his catching? How do you derive that from just, data? You can't. There has to be a mark. That's why they keep stats, because they want to see what player is doing what. That's how they get paid in their contract. So stats are very important. That's probably the only thing me and Dan don't really see eye to eye with. I still believe in data like he does. I believe there's a lot of ways to make the gameplay better if you rate it properly. And I've seen some rosters in the past, and I'm just going to be honest, I wouldn't download them with a free Xbox. It just wouldn't happen, because I know that some of them are just not. They didn't really put a lot into it. They just wanted to put a roster out so people will download it from them. I will never do that. Some people have asked me, when are you going to put a roster out for the PS4? I said, the only time you'll see my roster is if I'm working for a game company. That's it. I don't do it for everybody. These three guys, they'll get every roster. In fact, I'll throw rosters at them. They probably don't want after a while. But there's only certain people I do it for, simply because they understand me. I understand them, and they know why I do what I do. A lot of people out there, and I'm not trying to knock the community down. I'm just going to be honest. A lot of them are ungrateful. I mean, look at what you three go through on a weekly basis with these people. They're ungrateful, man. They don't appreciate nothing. If you can't appreciate the truth, then you'll never appreciate anything. So why would I go out of my way to put a lot of work into something that a lot of them don't deserve? So they could not like me. I'm not here to be liked by everybody. I'm just being honest. I will always work with these guys on the Sim Standard Radio anytime, because they've never done me wrong. They've never, turned against me or made me feel insignificant for any reason. And that's why when I do my ratings, I had them test them. And these guys do a great job of it, man. I can't ask for better testers of the rosters that I do. I can't ask for better ones. And, just to sum things up a little, I'm not some guy who's going to draw attention to myself. All I want is to make the gameplay as best as possible. I'm not going to give all this data speak about how I can make the gameplay better and this and that. You got to have a football feeling to rate. You can't just rate because you decide one day to wake up and say, I'm just going to rate the game and see what happens. You got to have some football knowledge. You got to have a reason why you put that number there. When I rate these games and I rate these players, I have reasons. A lot of reasons why. And then I will go back and redo it because I don't feel it's right. Sometimes I get a little too perfectionist, but if I put out a roster, I'd rather put out the best damn roster I can, no matter what. And I'm never really satisfied, so that's always going to be me. But to do a roster and to combine the numbers for the players and make everything as smooth as possible, I kind of let the game, like you pointed out to him, I let the game do the rest because that's what it's for. I can't change morphing, warping, sliding. I can't change none of that. But the best thing I could do is make the players play consistent, make sure that every player is up to date with the proper ratings. And once that is achieved, then I go and look for more. I'd never stop looking. I mean, I remember me and Smitty was going to work on a BackBreaker roster, and he had the same idea. We didn't stop looking for things we could do. Only 4 ratings in that game, but we try to do everything we could in combination. We were on the phone quite a bit. Sim has gotten rosters, like I said, that no one else really has. And some of them, I mean, the games that we had him on, like I know he's got the 2K5 one. I think I gave you that one. 2K8 definitely, and BackBreaker for sure in your email somewhere. So these three guys that does this radio show, the Sim Standard guys, you guys gotta appreciate them, man. I'm not saying that because I want them to bring me on every week and be, a regular thing. No, that's not me. I'm saying it because I don't know them by seeing them, but personally, since I've talked to every one of them, it's all about them. First things first is their families, their life. They take care of business. This is something they do to help the community, period. This isn't something they do 24/7. This is for the community. This is to help get the game to where it should be. And like I said, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't even have a platform for rosters. So you guys should appreciate what they're doing. I know there's a lot of haters out there who are going to say, oh, they just, kissing up to EA. Man, they could care less what EA's got to say. Half the time we talk, they tell me what they want in the game. They never mention what EA's going to do. This is what I want to see. This is what I think we should have. So I'm just going to close out with that. Appreciate what these guys are doing, because hating on them is not going to change. When you complain and complain and complain about them, what's going to happen is you fall on deaf ears after a while. If your channel is impotent and you need some material, find something you really like Go Montana, make a video about that. But making a video and knocking these three guys down for what they're doing is not going to get you anywhere. And I had to say that because I get tired of seeing it. I get tired of hearing it. Give these guys credit for what they're doing. And I will continue to do what I'm doing. And they'll continue to get rosters from me whenever they want. Because that's what the rosters are called, the Sim Standard Radio rosters. And only 6 people are getting them, and that's it. And just want to let you guys know I appreciate everything you've done. I know this isn't the type of thing you probably expected out of me, but I just don't really know what else I could say, except thank you very much for helping me out and giving me that platform long before we got here. You guys take care. I'm out.
Oh man, well that was good enough, because I think exactly what needed to be said was I think most people here know who Nef is. So really, man, it was just to get you on and let you, state your piece and, say what you want to say about the roster. And, we'll still keep you here on for just a moment for as long as, if you want to stay on, if you're done, definitely let us know that. But
I'm still right here.
Yeah, I think it was just important for you to say all of that, because I think for years, people have always wanted to know what was the method. How was you doing it? Like, how was you cranking out, working on 2K8, BackBreaker, and all of that? But I don't think people understand, to what degree that, you work on these rosters. I mean, God, he does each individual player, and he has a method. So it's I guess the only thing else, Nef, I know you don't want to give them your secrets, but if you could kind of, one question I would ask is to, say to the guys listening, if you could kind of mention a little bit how you come up with some of your calculations, in a way that you're not giving it away, but kind of making those who have that third ear understand exactly what you're doing.
I come up with them on a scale. I have a process. I have a file that I use. I created it myself years ago, and there's a reason for every number. Like I said, I go through every ability one number at a time. It's a slow, painful, mind-blowing, slow process, and I want to know what every attribute affects the total number, which, as I've told you guys, that number means nothing, really, the all-around overall number. It doesn't mean anything. But I come up with it by, when I look at a player's speed, it's a certain category. When I go into his bio and his scouting report, if he has a 4.3 speed, automatically there's a category he falls in with me. And then I just use kind of a slide rule to get to the main number. But that's for every single position, every single attribute or rating. Now, the traits are a little different because I kind of have to go off what the player does more than what he's rated. So I really rate the traits different from what the player has on abilities and his attributes. So if he has a lot of speed and yet he has a lot of interceptions on his traits, some defensive backs will have aggressive catching, but not a lot. Very few. It's kind of hard to explain because I come up with these numbers on my scale, on my sheets, and like I said, I'm not like Dan. I don't have this constant stream of data coming in. And like I said, I'm not knocking the man for what he does. But it's been years and years of me writing it down, putting it on files, and learning my process over and over. And then I look for more ways to be more efficient at it. But I really don't want to go deep into it because you guys would probably be on next week's show by that time. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's the best way I can put it right now.
Oh, no, that's good, man. Smitty and Zua, y'all got any quick questions for Nef?
No, not really. I mean, we already know what it is. We already know what it is, man. So it's not,
Yeah.
there ain't nothing for me to question.
No, it's nothing for me to question either. I mean, excuse me, we talk, outside of the show. So, I would want for other people to call in and to have some questions for them. But this is the roster that we will be using for our CSM for a more simulated experience. And, I'm happy to have that. We didn't have it last year, but with Madden 16 and the way the game plays out the box, I know it's going to be good. And with him putting his ratings on it, we're going to the next level. So that's why I'm excited for the league to have these rosters implemented in them with the players, the sim players that we're going to have. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, Sam,
yeah,
I got
man.
one more thing. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
Go ahead.
I've actually found out certain things, and I've told you this on the phone. I found out a few more things that maybe EA developers haven't found out about this combination of stuff. And the process for me is restarting. So the teams you guys have now will not even resemble the teams I'm doing. So I just want to let you know that.
And guys, I mean, we've seen it. I mean, listen, I'm going to go ahead and address this right now because I know what the next question is going to be. Well, why can't we get it and all that? And simply put, just like Nef told you himself, he's tired of that whole public figure, so to speak. It's very nerve wracking. We just deal with it for the most part. I've become very accustomed to ignoring and using the mute feature on Twitter. I love that now. It's just because some people really, it's the truth. I mean, some people every day, they're bothering you about Madden. Every single day. And listen, I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but I'm just saying, people get tired of that. And I know some people will say, oh, well, that's the position you put yourself in. Well, that's exactly why he's not going to have a public roster. He doesn't want to be in that position any longer. Now, some of the people that I know that will have it, of course, the three of us. And to my knowledge, he plans for NY Kia to try out his roster, 757, as well as DJ 81. There's a couple other guys that you guys may not know, so I'm not going to say his name. And who knows? I mean, maybe we'll be able to spread it out. I don't know. It's all going to be on what Nef's wishes are. And, as for us being honorable people, once I have the roster, I'm not sharing it either because those are his wishes. So it's almost like a bittersweet event, I guess you would say. I mean, but like I said, most of you guys know who he is, so I definitely thought it was nice for him to come on and at least explain to you his madness, behind those 2K8 rosters that you all love, or those BB Highlights rosters with BackBreaker, and that was all Nef One. So for just
Just think about how much you love what those games was giving you with those updated rosters and all of that. That gives you an idea of what he's doing and the stuff that I'm seeing. And you've seen some of it in the streams. And I might even stream tonight if I get a chance for a couple of the teams. And we have about 6 teams done right now. And as you just heard him say, he's redoing them. But we're seeing stuff, like I said, it's just consistency. It's not like it's going to make it this groundbreaking, brand new game, but it's just about making the game play the way it's supposed to based on this guy's rating versus that guy's rating. And he even showed me some clips that was ridiculous, like DN, getting pressure enough where they're pushing them all the way back to the quarterback. CPU control. You know what I mean? And there's certain things like that you don't always see from the CPU. But like I said, man, that's what he does it for. We appreciate him for coming on and sharing that information. And like I said, man, I think more importantly, having guys like Nef and guys like Dan out here doing these things and being able to communicate to EA, between these two guys, I'm definitely going to be pushing, that envelope with Rex and I'm like, hey, man, you need to holler at these guys for real and get a new rating system going. And I'm going to call it right now. I think the perfect world would be all of the stuff that Dan was talking about with the data, beautiful, wonderful. Like, the stuff he was talking about, I'm not going to go into all the specifics, but just an example, he was talking about, like, each receiver having a different break in and out their cut. Like you hear Zord say that all the time about a guy like Reggie Wayne. He may not have been the fastest in his latter years, and we're about to see him again in the real NFL. But that boy knows how to make that cut, get into that route, use his veteran body and just, you know what I mean? Having that kind of stuff in a video game along with, Nef using actual data, because that is one thing that I have to agree with as well, that, Dan didn't necessarily agree with stats, but I would have to say I would lean towards also having stats along with data because, once you get the scouted information, that's you're not scouting weekly, unless I misunderstood. So you're going to need production also to balance that out. So the perfect world would be, and Smitty said this on the phone the other day, the perfect world would be is for EA to holler at Dan and holler at Nef, provided he has the time. Throw these guys in a room, sit down, chop it up. They give their opinions on things, throw it in the game, see how it works, and then as they see the results, they both say, oh, yeah, that's what we need to do right there. That would be amazing. That's what I'm talking about. But that's just me in my dream world. But all right, Tim.
All right, Nef, man. You got anything else for us?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, though, even if EA was to ever be insane enough to do something like that, I couldn't do it without you three popping in and being official testers. I don't care who they got right now. They could kick them somewhere else. I would insist on you three being the testers. And if they don't do it, then they can just talk to Dan. That's exactly how I feel. And you guys know that's true. I'm not starving for a career. But I'm not going to break I won't try to fix anything that ain't broken. If they wouldn't let you three be my official testers, then they could get someone else. Point blank. But you guys have a good show, man. I'm out of here.
All right, man. Well, you
right,
know we're going to be talking to you, man. We appreciate that, man. We love when we can get community guys in on the show. I mean, of course, that's a good friend of ours, but we want to do more of this, man. We had Dan on last week. We got Nef One, and we told y'all this a few weeks ago. We want to turn this into a real community show, man. Start having guests. And we keep it 100 with y'all. I ain't just talking about just having some random guests every week. I'm talking about people that really got something to say. I mean, if it's something that you can cover in a phone call, then that's where you need to stay. But if you got something that a real topic, or maybe you are a real figure in the community, and, don't take that the wrong way. I know some people are sensitive out here. But I'm just saying, you got to, really be doing something for a segment like that. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's get into this Madden 16, man. I see we got a lot of callers in the queue. Tonight is for you guys. It's wide open.
We want to bring some of you callers in here, man, and hear these impressions. Y'all got anything before we do that, man?
Yeah, I will at least say this. That we got special guests.
Yeah, we got
else
a co-host
commentary. Right, you know.
My bad.
No, I will say this though, and I want to get this out, especially before callers. I mean, by all means, they can reflect it too. I put out a ribbon talking about you that said "you tried," and that's basically participation ribbon. Just like, because I feel like I have a James Harrison feeling about the way the community is acting in regards to this game, talking about passing's OP and dudes trying so hard to make a stance and make a claim. And the problem here is that people have been getting exposed. People tried. You held Y and you held triangle, and you're upset because you're not getting what you want. So you want an A for participation. You want to win just because you played the game and you held the button. Well, sorry, you got to do more than just hit one button now. You actually are going to have to scheme. You're actually going to have to play. You're going to have to actually call plays that play to the strengths of your defense. You can't just call any old play, switch the control to one guy, and expect him to make all the plays for you. Rex said that you're going to get face caught and rocket catch, face caught, whatever it is you want to call it. He told you you're going to get mossed and all that good stuff all game long if you just play the ball the whole time with a DB. That's why I asked the question. Really think about it. To justify this catching being overpowered, that would be being able to legitimately answer the question, how many DBs and safeties or linebackers, how many of those guys on the defensive side of the ball in the NFL are better at playing wide receiver than actual wide receivers? How many? So you're telling me right now that I could take, from the Lions, for example, I could take Glover Quinn and I could take Darius Slay, and they could be my number 2 and 3 receivers right now. They're that good at catching. They got hands like that. You know what I'm saying? If these dudes were receivers and nothing more, they wouldn't be playing safety. They'd be playing wide receiver for somebody's team right now. There's a reason why they're on that side of the ball, because of how effective they are on that side of the ball. So if you can't present the real world data, then that's an excuse, because what I would hate to see happen is the game get quote unquote balanced. As Rex had tweeted out, they're going to do some balancing. I would hate for it to be balanced because people don't know what to do. And that's basically what's going on here. You got dudes making YouTube videos that straight up say, I suck at playing defense. But then you're mad about what's happening with the catching. That doesn't make sense. So what you need to do is, instead of spending time playing draft champions and stuff like that, you need to spend quality time in that skills trainer and learn how to play the game. And you need to spend quality time on that practice field, knowing how to make defensive adjustments. And I'm not a guy. And listen, I'm not a guy that makes those kind of adjustments end over end. I don't play that way. I don't take control of my linebackers and corners and safeties. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So what I have to do is I have to make the adequate adjustments based upon what's going on. And playing with Nef's rosters especially, I still get my tail kicked. You know what I'm saying? But I'd rather get my tail kicked. You know what I mean? I'd rather get my tail kicked and learn and adjust and learn how to play calls better with the squad that I have and the personnel I have than just whine and complain because I can't win. That to me is petty. See what I'm saying? That's that whole loser mentality. Well, I'm supposed to win just because. No, you're not. You're supposed to lose. It's supposed to be a challenge. That's the whole point. People say they want realistic football and they give it, and then people want to sit up here and whine and complain now that they're getting it, and now they want things to be patched because, the one-handed catch. Then then why don't you make the coverage adjustment and stop it? It doesn't make sense. You can stop it by having somebody think about it like this, and I'm gonna pass it to AZ. It's the last point I'm gonna make. If you just have a DB on an island or a one-on-one situation, you only have one option: either play the ball or play the receiver. Just think if you blanketed or did some bracket coverage and you have a safety over top, you could have one guy play the ball, one guy play the receiver, or you could have them both play the receiver. And you can still break up the pass. You have a greater chance of stopping the play doing that than just saying, well, I'm going to have this guy one-on-one, and he should just stop him. Why? His catch ratings are nowhere near as good as the receivers. Why should he? Why should he be just as good as Calvin Johnson? If he was that great, he'd be one of the top DBs in all the league. He wouldn't be on that side of the ball if he was that good. See what I'm saying? So people... We say we want football and it's happening and dudes are getting exposed left and right and that's just the long and the short of it. So I'll pass it to AZ. If you got anything to say, go ahead, brother.
And I was saying before Nef got cut off or Nef got off that stats have to be factored in because you can't just go off scouting because scouting missed Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have some, numbers in there as well because, scouts.
Yeah, that's true.
You only catch so many stuff. There's people, great players who go undrafted. And, so scout side is not always the best. You have to think a combination is what's needed. But back to Madden 16, it's ridiculous. And I really hope, like Smitty said, they don't nerf it or balance it. I'm using air quotes here because people are complaining because we've seen this in the past, and to me, they ruined Madden 15 when they nerfed inaccurate passes because they asked for passes to be not perfect. Then they put them in the game, and I can't complete passes. And you're playing with quarterbacks who have low accuracy. You have to look at the reasons for these things. Like Smitty said, you need to go in the skills trainer, suck it up, go in the skills trainer, and relearn the game. It's a new game. You can't do what you did on Madden 15 and Madden 16. So I'm really getting irritated with people saying catching is overpowered when I streamed for 4 hours straight on 3 different days showing how to shut down elite threats. Every now and then you would get, somebody who make a Calvin Johnson type catch, but that happened. I tweeted a video today where Calvin Johnson caught a ball in triple coverage in real life. So it happened. So let me pass it to Phil.
Man, the truth of the matter is, man, we're going to see what's going to happen. But I will give you guys, y'all know, I can't. I just remembered when I talked to Rex, some information that is just supposed to be in between me and him, so I can't really go down that road. But what I will say is I don't believe it'll be nerfed in terms of, I don't think it's going to be awkwardly balanced either way. Let's say it like that. But that's where I'm going to leave it. But, man, at the end of the day, it happens. And all you have to do, I don't even have to promote my video, Smitty, nor Azul. I could promote NY Kid's video. It was 36 minutes long. Go take a look at his video, please. If you don't believe our videos, because, they say we doctor information and, we edit. That's what I've been told. He doctored that. Yeah. Like that video I did with playing the receiver. He doctored that. And when I showed you, I switched to this guy and created I created this animation. But anyway, go look at my man NY Kid's video.
36 minutes of straight practice against Revis and then against Cromartie and different receivers. And it showed how, just to give you a preview, how Golden Tate guys couldn't do nothing against Revis. Can't get off the line. You know what I mean? And then you see a equal amount of win-loss situations with Revis and Calvin Johnson. And then, the next argument that people are going to say, but you're seeing some of the same animation. Yeah, okay, but it's an animation game. Every game we play, we see some of the same animations. Could there be more? Absolutely. There's one in particular that I've even already talked to Rex about, the one where you'll actually see it in some footage I'm dropping tonight in my draft champion game I played. And it worked in my favor. But I see the one where the receiver kind of looks like he pushes off, and then the DB jumps up and hollers for the flag. And I've asked if that one can be, if we can make this not happen so often. Because the only reason why I say that is I had a practice mode game and I was just playing around and I was able to trigger that animation like 3 times in a row. And I know it might have just been the ball placement, which is cool, but it's just stuff like that to me is an eyesore. So, I've already communicated that, let's kind of try to get some of these more animations to trigger. And that right there, guys, is feedback. That's not me telling them this is broken. It's feedback. But anyway, enough of the talking, man. Let's get you guys in, man. It's all about you guys tonight. And we have, as of now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 callers. Let's see which one of you lucky guys have been holding the longest. And we'll get you in first. Looks like it's going to be, area code 404. After that, looks like we have 319 by 20 seconds. Right behind that is 407. And we'll call you 3 as of now. Then I'll pick up that rotation after that. You guys know the routine. We'll go in order, just like how we speak here on the show. First guy Smitty will reply to, Azul will reply to the next, and I'll reply to the next. We'll keep going around and around. We have 57 minutes, guys. This is the longest amount of time we've ever allowed for calls. So let's all be mindful of each other's time. I'm sure we're going to get more calls coming in. And actually, as soon as I said that, our resident big homie, man, 757 has phoned in, so we got to bring him in first. I don't think too many of you guys are upset about that. So we're going to get him in first. We're going to be very short and brief with our responses so we can get everybody in tonight. We got a lot of calls in queue. It looks like it's actually 9 calls right now. So let's get 757 in, cut all this talking out. 757, man. Hey, you already know my question before you even say hello. How you feel about this game, man?
I phoned into this show and been with you guys probably almost 3 years, well, at least 2.5. We've been together for at least 3 games, and the transition from old gen to next gen. I remember calling in my first time when it was, the whole New Edition. Bobby Brown has left. When the whole crew of New Edition was together. And
hold on. How you gonna say that and think I ain't gonna interrupt you, man?
Hold on, let me get it out.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it was the 4 Horsemen at the time. Y'all guys know who y'all were. And you guys start talking about becoming game changers, being game changers. And we switched over to next gen. And I remember AZ, I remember Sim, and FBall saying, wait till 16. I want to see 16 because I believe that's the one. We went through the process of transferring over. We played 25. We played 15. And then something happened when you guys started going down there and seeing this next game. And you said to us, I can't really talk about it because we're under NDA, and that might have been one of you guys, but I remember Sim saying, Then the information started coming out. E3, we're going to fast forward to E3. And I said, wait a minute. This looks like football. You guys kept telling everybody, listen, you need to get ready. You need to get ready. The anticipation for Madden 16 and the energy that existed around it was unbelievable. But one thing that everybody is discounting that really pisses me off when I hear y'all talk is that everybody is so accepting of simulation golf, simulation soccer, simulation baseball. Y'all are okay with playing the show and your best hitter striking out and he may get a hit in the 5th inning. Maybe. You're okay with that. But you're not okay and realizing that you're using the Washington Redskins and right now RG3 can't hit the side of a building. But you still want him to play like Tom Brady. But you're okay with understanding the difference in one of the major baseball players and a mediocre one. You're accepting of it. You're accepting of playing the soccer game and knowing that you have to play it a certain way in order to score and losing to that person because you're not very good. But you're not accepting that you threw into double coverage. You want a wide receiver that's about 5'9" to moss Patrick Peterson. You're not accepting of that. You're not accepting of taking your finger off the trigger button because for so long y'all ran two plays, the counter and the power, and just held the trigger down, knowing that the linebackers wouldn't flow over, knowing that the crease would be there, and 9 times out of 10, if you beat one man, you score a 60-yard run. But you're okay with playing the show. You're okay with playing these golf games. You're okay with playing these other simulation games and not doing well. But then you want to give Madden crap for putting together what we asked for. It pisses me off. Madden 16 is the best football simulation game we have ever seen. Ever. Linebackers go to the spots where they're supposed to. Quarterbacks do the right play action, look at the quarterback, set his feet back up. You can climb the pocket and throw the ball. But half of y'all trying to throw the ball under pressure off your back leg to a mediocre receiver or throw the ball backwards. Your back is turned and wonder why he's doing this funny motion to turn around. But you still want to sit there and complain about the product that they put out. None of y'all are playing the receiver. All of y'all still pushing triangle.
Mm-hmm.
None of y'all are going in the skills trainer. Majority of y'all. I have a guy that I played in Madden 15 who out of the 7 seasons that we played, he won 5 Super Bowls. 5. My nemesis, and I can freaking play. You know how many games he's won in Madden 16 up to this part? 1. 1 game. Every other game he's been blown out because he's still trying to use gimmicks instead of using plays, formations, and real life understanding of football. You know how many games I've lost in Madden 16? Freaking 0. You know how many close games I've had in Madden 16? Freaking 0. You know who my starting quarterback is draft? You know who my starting quarterback is in draft champions? Mark Sanchez. And I've had 3 quits and was up 21-0 in the first quarter. It didn't even make it to halftime. Y'all not reading the defense. You're not understanding what a man is versus a zone. You're not understanding. You're not even using the icon that's sitting at the bottom of the screen. Click into your receivers and see if you have a mismatch on the corner. Is it height? Is it size? Is it speed? You're not pushing down and seeing if your offensive line is fatigued. Is their defensive line is fatigued? Is the starting defensive line on the backside with his head down? You're still running to the opposite side. You have to understand concepts and play football. Rex, you can't nerf this game. Because the show ain't nerfed. FIFA ain't nerfed.
Right.
Golf ain't nerfed. Now, you fix the bugs, but you don't nerf it. If you nerf it, I don't want to play it. Because you told us you was going to give us simulation football, and this game is freaking unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You cannot deny what they've done in Madden 16. In the simulation, to the fidelity, to the crowds, even to the commentary being better.
Say that again.
And I'm not no, and understand, I ain't no Madden fanboy. I went about 5 years or 6 years without playing this joint. I started playing the game again when I called into the show. So I only been back on Madden. I only been back on Madden. Hold on, man. Let me get it off. I only been back on Madden for the last 3 seasons. Come on, let's stop this BS, man. What y'all want? See, y'all want to play NFL blitz. Y'all don't want to play real football. Y'all don't want to understand concepts. It's too difficult. It's too hard. You're not understanding. Look at anything. You just tossing the ball up.
No,
Go on
man.
the skills trainer. Learn.
Participation trophy.
Understand the fundamentals of the game of football. And if you need a little help, hit me up. I'll start starting streams. I'll start talking about football concepts for y'all if y'all need that. Y'all holler at the Sim Standard group, and I'll start that. I'll start explaining to you why I threw it, why he was open, and what took place. Listen, this is what we got. This is where we are. We ask for simulation buttons. Hell, they can't make it no easier. You toss it up, you ain't got to click to the receiver. You just got to pick the right damn icon on what catch to do. I don't even like that. I feel that's still handicapping us. The top 100 players in this game for the first time ever dominate at their position if they are one of the elite players. You can win with any team, including the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fellas, I want to thank y'all because with this sim community and with the sim standard, y'all guys went in that room and pushed and fought and pushed and fought and pushed and fought. And we can't turn back now. Football ain't for everybody. Madden ain't going to be for everybody. Just like FIFA ain't for everybody. Just like baseball ain't for everybody. And just like golf. Either figure it out or get the hell off the pot.
There you go.
Man, I thank y'all for what y'all doing. I thank y'all for what y'all presented to me. I ain't put this game down yet. I'm going crazy. If I ain't own my own company, I'd be in a little trouble. I'm playing it each and every day, every chance I get. And like I said, I don't know Rex. I don't know none of them dudes. But I know greatness. I know next generation. I know moving forward when I see it. Is there some things to be fixed? Yes, but I ain't going to talk about that till next week because I'm still looking. But this is where we are. Do you want to be a part of this fucking movement or don't you? Because what you really are is a freaking troll. You just want to talk noise. You don't want to play football. You don't want Madden to be great. You just want to get those hits. You want to talk that noise because your eyes, as a former professional athlete, that's the closest I've never seen to what we see on Sundays in this game. This is it right here. This game right here, man, listen, it's stupid. Stop freaking whining and figure it all out. Stop putting up these YouTubes about what's going on and this ain't right and that ain't right, and you want a 5'9" receiver to jump over Patrick Peterson. It's not realistic. Start looking at NFL Network and see how many guys get great catch on them. Yeah, Reeves get the ball caught on him. Just last season, Julio Jones ate his freaking lunch in Atlanta last year.
Sure did.
Beat him down. Come on, man. I'm sorry for my rant, but I'm sick of this bull crap. Everybody talking about this game ain't a great game. What the hell you looking at? What are you really looking at?
They're looking for 2K on the box. That's what.
Fix the bugs, Rex. Fix the mess so we can jump to the CM and have an unbelievable historic situation. I'm a little upset by the XP, but I eat it.
Yeah, man, we gotta get that.
Fix the bugs. Fix the
Yeah.
bugs. Fix the stuff that needs to be fixed. But don't you nerf this game down for these cats? Because they ain't asking 2K to nerf down nothing. They ain't asking FIFA to nerf down nothing. They ain't asking none of these games to nerf down nothing. But y'all suckers been playing Madden, and now you got to play football, and now you ain't like it because you got to meet us. The guys who understand simulation and gonna always stay in third and short and always gonna frustrate you because your dumb ass take your middle linebacker out there trying to cover something in the flat, so you never seen the slot receiver come right behind you where you just came from. Let's play ball. Let's play Madden. Let's get in this thing. Let's jump in this thing. Let's get in it. Let's stop making these videos about what's bad. Let's talk about what's good. Let's move it in a direction. Let's move forward with innovation, technology, and real football. Man, I'm done. Let's go.
Oh, man. It was 7-5, man. Ain't much left to say after that. And not a lot to say after that, man. And I know, guys, that's the resident homie right there. We got to let him get his segment off. He's earned that. But we're going to go ahead and move to these callers. But 757, man, Nef texted me during the show just now. He said, make sure you know that you'll definitely be one of the few to have his roster. And, if you want a test roster, he said he can get one of those sent your way, whether it's the ones that we currently have or if he wants to wait. Because he said after your speech, he's even more hyped for guys like yourself to see what he, the work that he does. Because, and one point I wanted to make on what you said earlier, man, the commentary. Is the commentary great? No. Nobody's saying that. But that's the proof that I show you that 757 is a guy that pays full attention. We noticed that right away when we started playing that game. What was it, y'all, like February, May? I was like, hey, they saying some more stuff. It ain't earth-shattering, but those drive goals and calling the guys' names more and more, that's great. And you know what it was? You know what it was, guys? It was a bug. A bug that was found that unleashed all of that commentary. And that's what we be trying to tell y'all when y'all don't want to listen to us. When you hear Rex come on the show and say, man, there's so much legacy stuff, bugs we got to fix, then we got to innovate, then we got to improve the stuff that we had last year. This is what we be trying to tell y'all is more work than y'all think. And even with that, look at in my opinion, yes, is a good product this year. Even as well, you heard 757 go as far as saying it's great, and he still said, yeah, there's stuff to fix. That's the point. We all know there's stuff to fix. Do y'all remember when we started down this road, we said we wanted the game to start to change? Change is happening. That's all it is. We ain't all the way there yet, but we riding this train because we are in charge of this. Us simulation crowd. We running this thing. The devs on our side right now, and they have creative control for the most part. Let's not get crazy. But they have a lot of control. So let's ride this thing, man. Stop. I ain't going to say stop. Do you. But like I said in my video, I'm done with showing petty flaws. Something that's outlandish, yeah, I'll show that so y'all know, oh, yeah, Sim did. He saw that, too. He told it that. But other than that, what's the point? When I literally talk to these dudes daily, I'm not lying to y'all. I mean, I talk to some of these dudes by text message. There you go, man. Anyway, 40 minutes left. It's all y'all's, man. Again, all of us, ourselves included, let's keep mindful of the time so we can get everybody in. We got a great amount of calls right now. So let me get back to this list. We had 404 was first. Then it was 407, I believe.
I thought it was 319. Unless they're not
was it 319? I think it was 319. So it was 407, 319, and then it was 407. All right, so let's go ahead and start with those three, and I'll get the next list together. Sorry for the long wait, man, but as you can see, this has been a great show so far. How you doing, man? What's going on tonight?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yo, what's up? Yeah.
Yeah, we got you,
Man.
man.
All right, not too much. All right, so I'll try to keep it brief, try to get to the point or the gist of what I wanted to say. It's difficult to follow this guy. He's really passionate about the game. What's his name? 757.
Yeah.
Said he was undefeated. I play online too. I'm 7-2 currently. A few Madden ago, I was like 50-0 online. So I understand what he's saying about somebody using a linebacker going out into the flats and throwing into the slot. I mean, a lot of times if somebody using a linebacker, you don't know exactly where they're going to be, so they may not go into the flat. So you may not be able to send a guy on a slant over the middle where he should be. So a lot of times those guys get those user picks by going into the flat if they know that the person they're playing against isn't going to make the proper read, and they're just going to throw it to that person whether he's open or not. And so it's definitely important to make proper adjustments. But in regards to OP, aggressive catch being OP, I think most people were concerned about that is because um, conservative tackling last year was OP, and it was never patched. And you could get turn a corner on a guy, and he could warp about 3 to 4 yards and tackle you. And it killed me on so many plays where I had a bona fide touchdown, and somebody will conservative tackle me and just warp about 4 to 5 yards. And it was never addressed for whatever reason. It's still there this year, not as powerful as it was last year, but you don't want things like that in the game. So leading up to the game coming out, concerns about aggressive catch were probably there because of things like conservative tackling and stuff like that. So I think the jury's still out as to whether aggressive catch is OP because you need more sample data. You need more games to be played by the community. Once hundreds of thousands of people get online, you got more empirical data to look at to determine success rates and things like that. So I think it's probably a bit too early to come to a verdict as to what needs to be done or if anything needs to be done about that. Just to touch on this whole thing about yearly iterations, the game being the same every year, that's not really saying much without looking at the fact that the NFL is the same every year. I mean, the NFL this year is mostly the same as it would have been last year. Different players, the rules are the same, stadiums are the same. I think what people don't want to see is if the game is the same every year and last year's product was bad or undesirable. I don't think many people have an issue with saying the MLB The Show is the same every year because baseball is the same every year.
Mm-hmm.
And but what has happened is they feel as though the gameplay resemble real life baseballs to the point to where you don't really need to make significant changes. You need to make subtle changes. I think where people are upset about Madden, if they're going to give it flack, they're saying it's the same every year because last year's product didn't properly represent what I see on the NFL. So it's not where it needs to be. And if it's the same as last year, that means that it is not representative of what I see on Sunday. So I think people need to articulate as to why it's bad if it's the same as last year, because NBA 2K is going to be the same as last year. MLB The Show is going to be mostly the same as last year. But I think people feel that those games accurately represented their respective sport better than Madden has been doing. And I think most people can agree with that. And the last thing I'm going to say about 2K, you guys give 2K a lot of flack about all tangibility and things like that, which I get. I played 2K as well. I was a huge fan of NBA Live 10 when Mike Wang went over there and did his thing. That really made 2K step up their game because I always had problems with 2K in regards to lack of control, whereas Live allowed for a lot more articulation and dexterity as to what you wanted to do with point guards and things like that. But NBA Live stepped it up huge. One of my favorite games of last year as far as sports games is concerned. Played the hell out of that game. And then that caused 2K to come with it on 2K11. And that's when they really just dramatically changed the game and made it a lot better because of what Live did with Live 10. But I think people don't give 2K as much slack for these things is because they have what's called goodwill. They've established goodwill. They've pressed upon people so much so that, hey, okay, you made great games for us in the past. We'll let you slide here and there on these things. Whereas Madden is given a harder time because people aren't happy with where the game has been. So they don't, And goodwill is an asset on a balance sheet. On a company's balance sheet, they try to quantify goodwill with stakeholders. They try to determine how much they have based on their prior actions. So that is something that companies have, and that resonates with consumers as to what kind of grief they're going to get in the future. So goodwill can run out too. You can have it to where you continue to have legacy issues to where you run out of goodwill and now people are giving you a harder time. But that's pretty much all I had. Thanks for having me, guys, and I'll definitely listen to the rest of the show.
Hey, man, thanks for your call. Thanks for the insight. You know what I'm saying? I really don't have anything to comment on in regards of it. I mean, his points were very precise, very clear there. And I mean, I agree with your points there in terms of what you're saying across the board there. So definitely appreciate you listening and for calling in.
Yeah, man. And I'm going to say this before we move to the next call. Next week, we're going to try this out. This is going to be a show with all calls because we always talk about you keep it short, and we try to keep it short ourselves, and it never happens. We already had 33 minutes, and we got like 7 calls left. So next week, it's just going to be all calls, and we're going to see what's going to happen. But anyway, let's get to the next one. Again, 33 minutes. Let's be mindful of everyone's time. That includes us. Let's go. We got area code 319. What's going on, man? Thanks for your call. What's going on tonight?
Oh, what's up, fellas?
Hey, what's going on?
Much, man.
Yeah, this Big Dave 14 on Twitter.
What up, man? What's going on?
Chilling, man. Just chilling and laughing at the feedback. I don't see anything that's going on with the game that I'm hearing the complaints about. And I've played it a ton. I had it since the trial, and I actually have the game. So I just don't understand these people, man. I'm not having no overpowered anything. Everything is balanced to me. The running game is smooth. It just got a better feel to it. I'm blowing people out. I'm shutting people down on defense. It just is what it is. and please tell Rex and them they don't have to. I mean, they can clean the bugs out, but they ain't got to address the OP. I mean, all the tools is available. You can guess if they passing or running. You can double cover people. You can send bracket coverage. You can play zone, cover 6, 2-man under, 2B contain. All type of plays in that at work that can stop OP and somebody's offense. So that's all I wanted to say, man. I'm done bickering, but 757 had me cracking up, and I agree with them 100%, man. They EA moving forward in a great direction, and I'm loving it, man. No problems for me. And 2K football did, so stop talking about
it. Go ahead, AG. Give him his reply, man.
It's funny because I went to the funeral last week, so I know it's dead. I saw it in the casket. But, yeah, you're right, man. There's nothing really to comment on that because it's basically what we said all along, that the tools are there. People don't want to take the time to go into skills training. People don't even know about defensive bracketing. Like, how could you not know that? I mean, maybe EA needs to put out a video, but, there's people in the community that put out videos to help with, help you shut down. Like I said, I've showed how you can shut down elite receivers. And I'm talking about legends. I shut down Herman Moore, who, if you play draft champions, is an absolute monster. So, we'll move on to the next call. Appreciate the call, by the way.
Yeah, we'll move on. And I witnessed that with my own eyes watching AZ stream. So he ain't lying. So let me go to the next one, man. 407, you're going to come in, but let me give you guys the next lineup real quick because it actually looks like some of these calls
has dropped off due to the weights, man. We apologize for that. We got more guys in the queue, so let me give that quick break real quick. If you're in the queue, you want to speak, press 1. We'll see you. We'll bring you in. If we're missing anybody, tweet one of us and let us know that you're in queue. We'll get you in. If you're listening online, I know we have a good crowd out there online. If you want to call in, 516-453-9126. Press 1 to be placed in the queue. So next up is 407. After that, it will be 205. Behind that will be 337. And actually, that's all we got. Now, I apologize to you guys who fell off. Hopefully you'll come back. But 407, man, what you got for us tonight?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Hey,
there we go.
What's going on?
Right here. Let us hear it, man. We already know, but let us hear it. Your other twin already told us, so let's hear your half.
It's funny. We got a game with a learning curve, and people don't want to ride the curve. In this league, you cannot follow these number one receivers around the field one-on-one all game. They will make you pay. The way the game is officiated, where you can't touch the quarterback, where you can't touch the receiver, where you have every year more and more of an increase of the spread influence. You play one-on-one against these receivers, you're going to get laced and cut into ribbons. Very few corners match up one-on-one with number one receivers for a full game anymore. It's not the same league that Rod Woodson and Deion Sanders played in. They'd still be great today, but they would not be used the same because the passing game is more sophisticated. The rules are drastically different. This past year, when the Pats played the Lions, Revis was not shadowing Calvin Johnson. They were double teaming him all game, and Revis was playing on Golden Tate. In Seattle's Super Bowl year, the same thing. They moved away from their single high, 3 deep and man one. Sherman played on his customary left side. They played bracket on Calvin Johnson. These guys, as they get quicker, bigger, stronger, faster, there's a reason why you don't see too many 6'3", 6'4" corners, because the amount of guys that size that can change direction, can run like a deer, and have great ball skills are very small. As a matter of fact, there's only a couple of them. Sherman, who's 6'3", former wide receiver, he has the ball skills of a receiver. That's what makes him so unique. And Brandon Browner, different kind of player, but same type of physical height. And that kid in KC, whose name escapes me, but these guys.
Sean Smith.
Thank you. Yeah, he's a really good-looking young player. But these guys in the NFL, they have to pick their spots as to when they want to match up their guy against the number one receiver. So you turn to Madden, and yet these guys want to play one-on-one on the outside all game long. It makes no sense. I haven't even touched Draft Champions yet because I'm seeing things in the game that I play against a CPU and in practice mode that I haven't seen before, and I'm trying to get myself comfortable doing. 2K football, 2K8, this game is better. And what's scary is this game still has room to grow. So what's going to happen is companies like 2K and people like Damon Groh, they missed the opportunity that they had to catch this game. It's not going to happen. You guys have been spot on with this all the way. You guys have been 100% correct. Now, what has me the most excited about this game is that playing these CPU games, I'm starting to see these teams play with their individual personalities. It's got a ways to go still, but I'm seeing traces of it. I played against the Buffalo Bills. I could not move their defensive line. I couldn't do it. I averaged like 3 yards per carry, popped one good run, and that was it. Against the Giants, I matched up Revis against Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham had one catch out of 4 targets. I played the Steelers with the Eagles. I tried to play Antonio Brown one-on-one. Every time I did, Big Ben went that way. He caught a couple of beautiful back shoulder throws. I had to cut that out and play cloud coverage, cover 6, cover 2, 2-man under, and make high adjustments at his zones to put a inside-out double on him. I played Tampa against Azure's Titans. I held Kendall Wright catchless.
Oh, no.
Bracket coverage and being physical with Antrell Werner when he was matched up on him. And Mariota, he showed streakiness. He played like a rookie. He'd throw some great passes. He'd bail out of the pocket prematurely sometimes. He played like a guy who's inconsistent. I played against Jay Cutler, and he was scattershot all over the place. You're starting to see that individuality begin to creep its way into the game. Once they clean up the glitches and some of the movement is still a little bit wonky and get that more tightened up, when they start adding that individual team likeness, it's over. No one's catching them. Great game. I really enjoyed having a lot of fun. I'll get to online, eventually. I just want to make sure that I'm comfortable with it. And this is me who's been playing the game for years. And it's taken me some time to get comfortable. People are in such a hurry. Take your time. Learn what you're doing. We're seeing a divide more clear between people who want a good Madden game and people who want a good football game. And the guys who want a good Madden game are the ones that are getting torched. So that's all I got. Talk to you all later.
Hey, kid, real quick, man. Nef definitely wants to include you in receiving a roster. That okay with you? Still there?
Oh, he may have hung up. Yeah, he already hung up.
I'm sure he wants it though, and I'll talk to him. We can talk to him offline. But and just for the record, again, guys, those who will more likely have the roster will be the three of us: 757, NYPS, DJ81, and maybe a couple of more people that Nef discussed. But as of now, that's probably going to be it. And again, it's because these are the guys that he's comfortable with. He does not want to be a public figure. It is what it is. And you can kind of tell why. You hear how NYP and 757, how they see these little intricate details. That's what he needs. That's exactly what he wants to see with his test roster, and that lets him know that his roster work will be appreciated. So it is what it is. So let's move on. Y'all got to help me with the order again. I think I said I had 205 was next, right? So it was 205, 337, and then we did get a new call at 623. All right, so we're going in with 205. I'll give you your reply, and then we'll continue the rotation. Alabama, what's going on tonight, man? What you got for us?
I'm doing pretty good. How are y'all guys?
Good, man.
Well, man.
What's up, AZ? How's it going, man?
Good, man.
I just want to say something real quick. For the person that stole my PS4, I hate you right now.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man. That's why I haven't been online being able to play anything. But I have checked out Madden 16. I went to GameStop, checked it out. I played it there. I wouldn't get off the controller for a while because it was so different from what I played, And I would stop by on my lunch break while I got off of work. I would go by there when I seen it that they would, had the game in there. I didn't really want to go into anything, I just want to play like an actual game for a little while. I sit there for a couple hours just sitting and playing and practice and stuff. The game is totally different from what we had last year and in 25. It's a lot more where you have to break down the defense when you're on offense, and when you're on defense, you have to, you're not like you're more like a defense coordinator. You don't necessarily know what's coming, but you try to scheme to a way to prepare. And for the people that says that the catch is overpowering, that to me it just shows that you really don't understand what you're doing. It takes time to go into this game and learn. You're not just going to pick it up and just start picking off every pass. You got to have some thought to what you're doing. Use bracket coverage and things like that. And I love watching y'all's YouTube videos and things like that because I totally support y'all on what y'all do. Getting off of the Madden for a second. Some of these people to me, are just 2K fanboys. I've looked on Twitter. I don't really reply or comment on them, what they say, because it's just ridiculous. But, to me, some of these people, they don't want to admit that they're fanboys, but they wouldn't mind it if 2K went out there and grabbed a hot dog turd off the ground, dipped it in chocolate, and called it Dippin' Dots ice cream. And they would sit there and both-face look you in the face and tell you it's the best ice cream they ever had, even though they're eating a dog turd with chocolate on it. It's absolutely ridiculous. I've played 2K. I still have my Xbox, my original. Play 2K5. I play, All Pro Football 2K8. And there is no way in this world you can tell me that there is DB and wide receiver, interactions in those games compared to what you have on Madden. I mean, you actually have players on defense just, they're fighting through the player to get to the ball. When you jump in the air, sometimes you're behind the guy. You have to put your hand in between somebody's arms and knock the ball loose like you would do in real life. And some of these guys, when you have Des Bryant or you have, certain people like that, they're going to pull the ball out the air because their strength, to hold on to the ball. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. You got Megatron. You want people to play single coverage. You can't do that anymore. You have to play with a safety over the top in a corner, and you got to play man coverage. And I love how you actually have, hand fighting off the line. Nobody talks about that, but I talked about that, wanted it for 2 years, and we finally got it. And when 757 was talking about he's been with y'all since the beginning, I was one of the first guys to call y'all's radio show. And I asked y'all for so many things. And y'all went into the room and y'all given me everything I wanted. And so I just want to say to these people that never call into the show and always bash y'all on Twitter, y'all are ridiculous. Y'all don't even represent this community, in my opinion. I mean, you have somebody that's got the source right there at your fingertips and you don't use it. I don't sit here and kiss up to these guys. I call this radio show because I want to get my thoughts out there. The only way I can get into the room is through Sim, through Azor, through Smitty. Because if I tell them that, I want to see this and it's real football, I can guarantee you those guys are going to go out there with my questions, go into that room and fight for me. Regardless what y'all say, regardless what y'all think. I mean, I'm not going to burn the bridge that I have with these guys because they're, to me, become my close friends the last 3 years. I'm not going to burn a bridge with somebody who's fighting for me. And if you can't see that and if you're that retarded, you really need to just leave this community. And y'all have a great night, man. I appreciate y'all so, and peace.
Man, 205, I'm going to tell you that. And I've told a couple people the same thing this week, man, because they've hit us with the similar type of messages. But it's like, you guys are the reason why we do this. The sole reason. We don't do it for no recognition. None of that. We do it for mainly the gratification of knowing that we're representing guys who want to know. I say that all the time. I always wanted this type of guy to give me the information if I couldn't be there. And I don't think there's too many people that do it quite like we do it. And wait, shout out to, Shop and Mad. They do a great job as well. But there's not a whole lot of game changers that you're going to find that give you that information. A lot of guys are great feedback guys that y'all don't know. Some of my favorite game changers, they don't do podcasts. They ain't all over Twitter.
You know what I mean? They don't have to. They don't care to do that. So what I'm just trying to say is it's a choice, and this is why we do it, because of guys like 757, 205, 407. You know, you guys know your area codes, 337. I mean, it's a whole bunch of you guys, man. 319, 267. Everybody who calls here that, you know, applaud that effort. You are the people that we do it for. Plain and simple. And we're making things happen. And if you don't believe me, all you got to do is ask Rex. He said it 1,000 times how valuable our feedback is. And it ain't just us. We bring your feedback with us. So, all right, enough of that, man. Let me definitely bust a move here. We got 13 minutes and 56 seconds with 2 callers left. So hopefully we get you in. And speak of the devil, we got 337 right here in the queue. So let's go ahead and get in, man, after that 623. 337, man, we got you in live. I'm hoping you coming in, and the computer here is looking a little funny. It's almost like it's spinning. I don't know if are you on yet? Yeah, it doesn't have him on yet. Give me a second. Here's Blog Talk again, acting crazy. It's going to bring you in a minute, man. So as soon as you can hear yourself, I guess, as you're talking, just start talking. Wow, this is
337?
Nah, man, I think it's Blog Talk messing up, man.
Oh, it's Blog Talk.
Yeah, it is, man, because, I'm trying to get him in, and it's frozen. And this is crazy. And I know, it ain't the computer. Like, I just checked my speed and everything. It's Blog Talk, man. It's just like what happened earlier. Cut me right on out. You know what I mean? Oh, come on, man. It's like right now it's a mix of muting 205, which I know he's gone, and trying to get 337 in. This is ridiculous, man. Well, guys, I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't want to try to bring 623 in, because then if they overlap, I won't be able to catch it. So we're gonna just go ahead and stick around here for a moment.
Hey,
I think
337. Hold on, let's see. 337, you there? 337?
Nah, he can't hear
No, it ain't happening. No, because I'm trying it on my computer. I just logged in now.
Tried it on
it's not swirling.
Too? Yeah, it's swirling, man.
Like
it's
showing them. Yeah, it's showing it on there, but I don't hear them. Well, All right, well, I'll put it back to mute.
You know what? Hold on, man. Let me see. I've never done this before, but I think we can actually call again. We're gonna try this. So let me see. See how real we are, y'all. This how it is, man. I mean, live radio. We don't hide nothing from our people, man. So let's go. Let's see if this will work. But again, any of you guys, man, know any other resources? We very well may have to. Nah, it's not going. Well, let me see if it's gonna call out. It says it's dialing, so we'll see. I don't hear no ring or anything like that, so it ain't gonna happen. Well, what's the worst can happen, man? I guess let's try to see if 623 can get in here. 623, we're gonna apologize to you in advance, man, if you don't get in. 623, can you hear us? And on my end, it's doing the exact same thing that it was doing.
623, it ain't coming through.
No,
but it's just
same thing.
Swirling.
Just spinning. All of them are spinning.
Well, let me just go ahead and say I'm looking forward to 17. After the base that has been laid with 16, I know I said I wanted 15 to blow my mind, but I think 17 should do it. Because what they have in place now is football. And going forward, you adding to it. co-host chiming in. What they had, going forward, that's what I want to see. So I'm looking forward to 17. I know people like 16 just came out, but I've been a project manager, and as soon as we get finished with one, we move on to the next. So my mind's on 17 right now. I'm gonna enjoy 16, but 17 is on my mind.
Yeah, man. It's funny because it's what I've been saying to people as well. It's like, Smitty been saying that he's looking forward to 17, but it's like,
yeah,
we look at things now from a development standpoint. I mean, let's just call it what it is. We've been down here for this, we about to roll into our fourth year, pretty much. We all got started initially with 13, or was that 12? That when you went, AZ?
It was the end of 12. So when I went down, they were doing physics.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, 13.
Yep.
For 13, yeah.
Yeah, that was that June 4th announcement. And then Smitty and I went after that. So it was like, we went the latter part, like the game was already done. But that's when they was getting all their official invites as far as getting the Sims Bandit members down in there. And that's it. We've been rolling since then, man. And it's like, I tell you guys, we've developed huge relationships with these guys. It's like, we don't just go into the office and, okay, guys, what are we going to talk about today? Okay, let's do. We don't do that. We be in there laid back, like rapping with each other. We go out to eat at times, and some of the devs are with us. I mean, real conversation. Like, imagine how you and your homeboy, or your best friend, or whoever the case may be, or one of your good colleagues at work. Imagine how much work you might have gotten done when you be like, hey man, let's go grab a drink or so after work. Y'all, depending on what type of field you guys work in, but some guys listening to the show may understand that. Y'all, y'all sitting at happy hour, whatever, having a drink, and then y'all be like, boom, that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. Like, this is how we're gonna solve this issue. It'd be like that. Like we have developed real relationships with these guys to where we can look at them, like they're real close associates to us. You know what I mean? So it's like, I want to explain that because, again, I know the question's going to come. It always comes, and I don't understand why it matters, because everybody should do what they want to do. But this is why you're not going to see a plethora of obvious flaw videos. We're not in that position. And, I know that the word's going to get twisted up, but let's just call it what it is, man. Call a spade a spade. We ain't on that level. We ain't at the level where we got to make a YouTube video of a flaw that we see in the game and be like, look at this. No. We're at the level where I see it happen live. I'm like, whoa. Okay, let me put this controller down. Hey, man. Hey, Clint. I got something crazy you got to see. Oh, yeah? Send it to me. All right, here you go. I'm about to send it real quick. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Rex, I'm going to shoot you something real quick. You want me to send it to you on Facebook or what? All right, I'm gonna shoot that to you. And hit me back after you see it. And he replies. And that's not bragging or boasting. I'm just trying to tell you guys, it's counterproductive. What does it do for me to make a video about warping? And Rex said on our show 2 weeks ago, did he not say that's the main thing he wants to fix? If I recall it correctly, guys, I remember him saying he wants poetry in motion. Did he not say that?
Yep.
So, what does it do for SimFBallCritic, Azul Effect, Smitty, hell, 757, and Nef One, Nyeph, guys, faithfully call it. What does it do for any of us to make that video? It don't make sense. When this man has already said, yeah, man, that's the worst thing in my mind that I hate about our game. We going after that. That's actually, the next model for us, poetry in motion. No, what we gonna do is just like Azul always used to do, even when he used to play Chase McCoy. And like, Nyeph did in his 36-minute video, which was great. You point it out as it's happening. Just like I do in the live streams. Like, I don't like that right there. Just so you guys know I'm not blind. But to make a specific video about the warps, when everybody knows that, and besides, let me explain it here real quick, and then I'll pass it to the guys while we still got time. We tried to explain this to you. These are two-man animations, meaning it's a two-man animation. What does that mean? That means that, and most people would realize, okay, it's a motion capture animation with two people interacting. Obviously, that's what happens. So what you're going to see in some scenarios, you will see some of these animations that they kind of shift into place to begin that animation. Now, I was even told by one of the dads when we were down there, the animation is scripted because we have to start the animation in the mocap, but the outcome is not. We were told that. So that's why you see things like, they might speed up real quick and they put them in the animation and then boom, it plays out. But what we have to understand is until games get away from doing that, until there's a way to figure out to make a sports game just play freely on its own without, creating the animation, you just allow them to interact with each other independently, like you create some type of AI where they know the other body is there, then this is what's going to happen. It happens in all sports games. The last point I would make is, it's funny how people make such a big deal over something that's been done for the first time ever. Not just in Madden. We have never seen interactions between the DB, wideouts, linebackers and wideouts, linebackers and tight ends, chucks, presses, to this degree. We've never seen it done. So to see some, people acting like it's supposed to be absolutely perfect, that just lets me know that you really haven't been following the process of video games. Everything is trial and error. It's the first iteration. Look at the locomotion. True Step did decent in Madden 25, but it was a little sluggish, right? Madden 15, they tried to loosen it up, then it kind of seemed like some of the swerve came back. Now look where we at. In my opinion, best it's been, by far. Still got some room to grow, because we still need locomotion on everybody, True Step and all that. But you see my point? Physics. Look at physics in Madden 13. Look at where it's at now. So my point real quick, I'm sorry I've taken a lot of time here. Madden, think about where DB and wideout interactions will be 2 years from now. Maybe even next year. That's all I'm saying. We overanalyze stuff sometimes, man. It gets ridiculous. But anyway, we got a minute and 30 seconds left, man. I'm going to throw it to Smitty and throw it to Azul real quick to wrap up, man. You guys got anything?
No, nothing else to say, really. I mean, this is what we wanted. And the main thing, like was said back at E3, people need to listen to the interview you did. Because Rex, they all said that the game is not where they want it to be yet. So with that being said, enjoy Madden 16. You know what I'm saying? So I'll throw it to Azul.
Learn the game. Go on skills trainer. Stop complaining. New game.
There you go.
Yeah, man. And again, apologize to the guys, man. I see one of the guys here, Lakers fan, Lakers for Life 024 on Twitter. He just hit me up and said, hey, I'm 623. I can hear y'all. Y'all can't hear me. I extremely apologize for that, man. I mean, I'm going to be like Rex. I know this isn't my fault, but I'm going to take the responsibility and say, I'm sorry on behalf of us here on the show for this happening to you. Maybe I should have called Blog Talk earlier, or maybe we should have switched a long time ago. I'm just ranting right now, but we apologize for that, man. This is the last thing that we expected have to say on the show with live calls. The last two calls we can't even get in. So again, if anybody knows other services, please shoot them recommendations to us. We got 9 seconds left. Thank you guys for calling. Keep playing the game. Give us the good and bad feedback, and let's just keep pushing the simulation football. All right, guys. We'll be back next week. Peace.
Peace.
Once again, guys, Thanks for coming by. And if you want to interact with me live, head on over to Sim Standard Radio every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, along with Smitty and Azure Effect. The call-in number for the show is down in the description. Now, of course, for more content, go ahead and click the link above. And before you go, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. All right, guys. Until next time, lights out.